Okay, and Tim, will you show houses to someone that hasn't been pre-qualified through Jerry?
So that's kind of a catch-22 question, but yes, I will. So here's the real deal for me is that there are a lot of buyers that if you ask them, well, or if I told them, hey, I want you to go get pre-qualified before I show you any houses, they're just going to pick up the phone and call somebody else. Going out and hunting for houses with a family there's a lot of, I guess you could say, get to know you, building a relationship involved with that. And to me, as a realtor, asking someone to go get pre-qualified before I even meet with them is like asking to get married before you even go out on the first date, right? So it's like, hold on, let's go look at some houses and let's figure out if we're a good fit for one another. But by the way, you're going to need that pre-approval if we're going to put in an offer on anything. That's how I typically handle that.
Okay, because I know some realtors do, some don't. Stephanie, what about you?
Yeah, I do the same as Tim does. I will go show, build that relationship with somebody, build that trust. Because I mean, you're going to be working closely with someone for the next month or two, maybe in a few months, depending on how long the home search is. So, definitely building up that trust, building up that relationship is honestly one of the most important things. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely okay with showing homes to people that aren't pre-approved yet. But yeah, once we get to the point where they're falling in love with homes and wanting to make an offer, we definitely push that pre-approval pretty quickly.
Great. Miguel, what about you?
Yeah, of course I would. Like Tim said, it's a relationship building process. So getting out there and showing them, at least that first home, we'll be able to talk, face to face, and I'll be able to understand their situation, and I'll be able to, point them in the right direction, with whatever they're going through. So yeah, I definitely would.
Great. And what about you, Joseph?
Yeah, so kind of in our office, that's a cultural thing that we teach. Definitely the most important thing for us is to get face-to-face with the clients to find out what their situation is. We've had a lot of people who just for whatever reason thought they couldn't get approved and they hadn't put an application in. And if you never get them to the point where they put an application in, then you can't ever really find out if they're going to get approved. So a lot of people, sometimes we get renters that think they can't get approved. Sometimes we get people that want to go look at houses, but you can kind of tell that they don't think they can get approved. And the only way to find out is to put an app in. And so we highly encourage, meeting face to face, getting to know what these people are looking for, and have them put in an app to find out if they can get a mortgage.
Hey, Jerry, how do you explain the loan process to a new client, and how long does it take to get pre-approved?
Okay, well, typically, I will encourage them to apply because I can't really analyze and I can't really help them until I see their application and look at their employment and then look at their credit score. So I encourage them to apply online, and it's really pretty simple. Or if they're computer literate or they don't have access, I will take the application over the phone. And I probably do that 25 to 30% of the time. And I can tell, if they're nervous and they're not computer literate, but I can do that. So, and once we do that, then I will probably have the pre-approval process done within an hour and a half, because I want to get that to them so that they can get with, the realtor and get out there and look at houses. And while their urge is there, and especially if they qualify, we want to put together numbers, and I try to send an email with an initial fee sheet so they can understand, because primarily they want to see how much cash do I have to have and what's my payment, because there's a bunch of numbers on a sheet and they have no idea and they're scared to death. So you want to kind of hold their hand and down the numbers as simple as possible. I know I ask everyone for taxes and insurance because Houston's a unique area. There are really high. Is that Lorena? I mean, y'all are laughing, but Houston's unique. Insurance, taxes, HOA dues, a lot in the other cities in Texas, whether you want to believe that or not. So it's really critical that we get accurate taxes and insurance, HOA, because everybody wants to buy as much house as possible. So we try to stretch it to get them qualified for as much as possible. So it's really critical to have an accurate estimate. And then, you know, and once you break that down for the applicant, the borrower, the buyer, it makes it a lot easier for them to understand, and then they relax a little bit and they get it. And then they decide, do they want to buy a house in an area where they got to pay flood and wind and hail and high taxes, because every area is unique. Lorena. We do that. And it works.
So, Miguel, how are you showing houses with the stay-at-home policy due to COVID-19?
So I get with the client, see what they're comfortable with. You know, I don't mind showing up with a mask, or you know, I'll even offer a virtual tour. You know, we can get on any video chat, and I can, you know, show up and show the house virtually that way. And if they have questions, you know, they can just answer. I mean, I can just answer them over the video chat. I've been doing that a few times, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind showing up with you know, masks or you know, whatever they're comfortable with.
And what about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, it's the same situation. I figure out what the client is most comfortable with. If they're okay with meeting in person, obviously we're still following CDC guidelines. You know, no shaking hands, staying 6 feet apart. Especially in the homes that are owner occupied, we follow their showing instructions. You know, very particularly, you know, wearing masks, gloves if they're requesting that to be done. Of course, always using hand sanitizer. But yeah, it's just a level of comfort for the buyer and for the seller. And, you know, you work around it. Virtual tours. I know a lot of listings now have those 3D tours where it feels like you're in the home. So, you know, that's one way to kind of push it and see if they really truly are interested in the home. And then from there, definitely meeting up in person if that's possible.
And so as we were talking earlier, you mentioned that this has not slowed down business for you. Can you explain that a little bit?
Oh yeah, our leads are still coming in strong. I have quite a few clients right now I'm working with that, you know, they're either essential workers or you know, their job is still secure and their credit score is there, they have the cash. I mean, with interest rates as good as they are, it's hard not to buy, especially if you already were looking for a home.
And Joseph, what about you?
Yeah, so our lead flow has probably almost doubled. I think everybody in the office can agree. I've had clients who have gotten laid off and things like that mid-transaction, but I would say probably 90 to 90-something% of the clients that we're working with haven't lost their jobs, and they're enjoying the low interest rates. So pretty happy about that. I think people are maybe a little slower to pull the trigger nowadays just because they see a lot of things going on in the market, but the home prices haven't dropped. We've been in multiple bid situations. I think overall the market in the Houston area is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. And Tim, so how are you showing houses with the stay-at-home policy due to COVID-19?
Well, like Stephanie, I stopped shaking hands and I'm just bowing a lot more now. And we try to gauge our customers where they're at mentally, emotionally. And if somebody's not comfortable going to meet you in person, more than happy to do an initial video tour of the house. I think the thing that you lose out on by going on the video tour is you don't get the smell if there was a seller in there that had pets or was a heavy smoker in the house. That can really play a role. That's something that you would not be able to tell from the video tour. And so, the point is to kind of showcase the house with let's say a video, and then if they're really interested, get them to come out and actually meet with you and bring their hazmat suit as necessary, right? So.